Okay, KO, stick with us. We're going to talk about the Red Zone top 10. 1 and 2 won, 3 and 4 lost, 5 won, 6 lost, Longview 7 won, Kilgore 8 won, Overton 9 lost, Garrison 1. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 losses from our top 10 teams. And I've been telling folks leading up to number 1, somebody's going to drop out. I don't think I thought it was going to be this soon, but we're going to have some new faces in the new places coming up for week 2 of the Red Zone Top 10 there, KO.
Listen, I didn't know until you just said it. I saw the score earlier, but I didn't know that Alba Golden knocked off Overton. So what a win for Alba Golden. That's impressive after the year that Overton had last year for Alba Golden to come out there and win. So shout out to the Panthers. But this is something that we talked about in leading up to making this top 10. A preseason top 10 is the toughest thing to do because you're banking on 14, 15, 16-year-old kids on what they're going to do from one year to the next. Coleman, I don't know about you, but I was 14 to 16, I didn't know what I was doing the next day. I didn't know how I was going to feel. I didn't know anything. So it is so difficult to put rankings in for a preseason thing. But I tell you, we had some upsets this week, and I think next week's top 10 is going to look quite a bit different. But here's the question I have. For example, the Carthage-Kilgore game. Carthage was 3, Kilgore was 8. Obviously, you got to put Kilgore above Carthage, but does Carthage drop out of the top 10? Because they lost to a top 10 school. So those are the questions that the distinguished gentlemen that make the top 10 over there at KLTV and KTRE will have to figure out over the weekend.
Well, go ahead and do that, Colt. Would you take Alabama out?
I mean, if they lost to a top 10 school, no. I wouldn't take them out. But that's the thing. I think it's the quality of the loss as well. Now, and where you're sitting at in the top 10. For example, like if Kilgore would have lost tonight, then I think they drop out of the top 10 because they were already at 8.
Yes.
But with Carthage losing and they're up at 3, I don't know if I can drop them 8 spots, especially how close the game was. It wasn't a blowout. I think you got to take all that into consideration. But it's definitely going to make the top 10 next week a very interesting proposition for sure.
Well, and also you take into account, at least I do when we do this, and when I read, what they do with the colleges, the school's history. You got to take into the school's history and what they've done in the past to for instance, 7-6 Longview. Yeah, they stay in the top 10, but do they move down? Probably not. It's a thing for our red zone.
To your point, Coleman. Though.
Okay.
Here's the thing, Coleman. Here's the thing. To your point. So Longview was right above Kilgore at 7, right? Mm-hmm. So Kilgore knocked off Carthage, who was ranked number 3, by 5. Longview beat Lufkin, who we had unranked, by 1. In my opinion, Kilgore jumps Longview because of the quality of their win. So it's those type of situations that we're going to have to look at that make this top 10 so fun to do.
And that's why we'll get the phone calls next week. Hey, thanks a lot, KO. Appreciate you. And also for JD Conti for